What's good, everybody? Vala here once again. Welcome back to the Messy Workbench. And I've sort of just resigned myself to the fact that as long as I am working on stuff, this workbench will never stay clean. And yes, we are taking a look at something neat today because I got it for a commission I need to do. We've got the Megalodon. It is one of the newest Mega Blasters that come out in the line, along with sort of, I like to call this the Neo Mega line, because of some new sort of design language they've been incorporating into things like the grip panels with the M texturing, as well as the sort of raised letters that are sort of embossed away from the body. And yes, we're going to take a look at this thing, and as ever, I'm going to give you my honest opinion because that's what I do. And I can already tell you that I think this has a good spot in a loadout. This is a 20 dart slamfire lever action Nerf blaster, which is neat because we have not seen a lever action sort of thing in Mega yet. And I think it's actually quite smart because with Mega you really want a beefy spring to be able to fling your Mega ammo, which this thing actually comes with only 20 of them, but you know, that's still a lot of Mega darts to come with a blaster. Especially considering the Roto Fury only holds 10 to 15 or so. I forget the exact number. I'll probably put it up on the screen here somewhere. But yeah, the grip is very, very comfy. It has the perfect sort of shape for my hand. It's bigger, which is good for my hands, but I don't think it would be that bad for a kid's hand, considering it's got a nice little thin spot right here, which your middle finger kind of rests right into. And even with my ring, it's fine. Like, my ring's not bumping into anything, really. Right in front of that, you got this weird sort of molded in piece that is actually separate pieces of plastic, so if you're going to be painting this, which I am, that'll make things a whole lot easier for painting and such. I mean, this whole rim here is not a separate piece from the central piece here, but at least these white bits are. The drum is non-removable, though there are ways you could feasibly remove the drum. There is a hole in the front of the blaster here, so you could stick something like a screwdriver in to push in the pin. And it's a little bit difficult to do. I think my screwdriver is a little bit short for this. Yeah, my screwdriver is a little bit short for that. Don't take that out of context. Yeah, I'll have to get in there with a longer stick. But you can reach in from the front to actually push in the spring-loaded button, because there is a spring-loaded button right here, and the center of the drum has a pin that moves forward and backwards that actually gets locked into place once it gets pushed by that retaining nub that's kind of pentagonal, which is a bit of a bummer because that means we won't be able to swap out our drums easily. But then again, for something like this, I think this is better relegated as a secondary, where you don't really want extra sort of ways to reload it other than the main one, which is from the front, considering you have easily 17 of the 20 slots easy to access, with the last 3 being the aligned with the barrel, and then the ones adjacent to that. But that is perfectly suitable, and it is fairly easy to just grab the drum and twist it, it is a little bit more difficult than something like a Cyclone Shock or whatever, because the teeth here for the sort of clutch are a little bit more aggressive and everything. So it's not like you're going to be slinging this thing around and making the drum shift around a lot like with the Mastodon, which was the flywheel thing that had, I think it was 15 to 20? It might have been 20, where it was really spaced out. Where if you moved it at all, you'd be rotating that drum like crazy. But then again, that thing you weren't going to be slinging around too much. This thing has 2 sling points right here and here. And that is the perfect sort of setup for putting right there with just like a standard Nerf sling, and then slinging on your side to kind of complement your main blaster. And I come from the same school of thought as Wallcom when it comes to sort of loadouts, where you want your secondary and tertiary to do something that your main blaster does not, like where you've got your Strife and such, or your Talon Claw that uses magazines. You know, you have a load of these on your body, and then you have your secondary, which can either be non-magazine fed or fire another ammo entirely. And then your tertiary, which is your backup pistol, like, you know, Suicide, Jolt, whatever. But yeah, this thing does fill that role quite well, I feel. Because, you know, you can have it slung on your side, have your main sling and drop your main blaster, whip this off your side, get off a couple shots, because this is a good sort of hip-firing slam fire blaster, because with that slam fire, which the trigger actually has a bit of a click to it, which I think is just the spring clicking. It's easy enough to just kind of whip off a few shots, which this is a good thing to have for something like HVZ, and get off shots that way. Now I'm going to load this thing up with the 20 mega darts that it came with, and I'm going to run them through the chronograph so we can kind of get a good idea of what FPS we're getting with this. And there we go. And in no time at all, faster than I could load an 18 mag or whatever, I've got 20 darts in this drum. Now I'm going to prime it back, and I'm going to fire off into the wild blue yonder just to sort of 66. That one skimmed. 61. Oh, that one hit. That one hit again. 66. 66.2. Okay, 54. 66.2. Once again. 65. 67. 66.2 again. 65. 67. And 64. Let's set this to the side real quick, and yep, it did omit that smaller number out of the thing. Yeah, I was getting a max of 67.8, minimum of 54 on that one shot that skimmed the side, and an average of about 65. But a lot of those shots were quite consistent at that 66 number and 67. It's nothing if not consistent, I feel. Oh, it looks like I missed one. Yeah, I think it's quite nice. It's definitely not something you want to use as a pistol. You want to, instead of holding out like this, because it will get a bit front heavy and your arm will start to hurt right here, even if you're good at like swapping hands. It's definitely something you want to hold with both hands to quickly get off a few shots. And you did see me short stroking it there a couple times when I was doing the priming, but that's just something you need to kind of learn the sort of rhythm it has, which every blaster has, to be honest. But yeah, the Megalodon is a really nice blaster. It is a bit expensive though. Like, this thing at current times at Walmart.com and at the stores and everything, it costs $36 and change. Which, if you round it up, that's about $40 for a secondary. Then again, it does come with the 20 mega darts and the big drum, and it is a lot of plastic, and it's a different sort of mechanism than what we've seen before. It's most comparable, I feel, to a Cyclone Shock, but with a different style of prime, where you can have the slide and then it rotates the drum. But then again, it's actually a bit closer to something like the Roto Fury, where it has slam fire and it also has the big drum that rotates when you prime as opposed to after firing. And I feel it will have really good modding potential because even now, bump the camera. Even now, someone's already came out with a couple shotgun cylinders for this. One that can hold 3 elite darts per shot and one that can hold 2 to 3 rival shots per one, which I am actually printing one of those for the commission. And I'm assuming it will take Roto Fury springs, if not, then Cyclone Shock springs. So that is always an option. I'm going to see what it can take, see how far I can push this, and see how far I can really take this whole priming mechanism. Because if I can get this thing hitting pretty hard, then it'll be a great sort of sidearm, especially with the shotgun mod, which that is what this thing is destined to be. As ever, I'll drop links down below to where you can get this on like Walmart and such. Even though it is a bit expensive, I'd recommend waiting for a sale if you're wanting one of these to kind of fill out your loadout. But then again, if you really want one and you're gonna buy it regardless, you're willing to pay that $36 or whatever dollars, more power to you. I am not one to tell you what to do with your money unless it's something that is exceptionally good or exceptionally bad, you know. But yeah, this is a good blaster and it has its place in a loadout. As ever, I'll have links down to my Patreon down below if you'd like to support the channel. And you'll be able to see sort of behind the scenes pictures and such. You'll be able to influence future videos, and every new Patreon gets a link to join my Discord server, where you can kind of have a more direct line to me. That is a little better than like Facebook or whatever, because it's a little bit easier to talk to fellow fans of me, which is kind of weird to say because I'd never think of that. But yeah, links down below. My name is Valor. Thanks for watching.